Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our live WMUR Granite State Debate Series from the New Hampshire Institute of Politics at St. Anselm College. I'm Political Director Josh McKelvin, and tonight we will be discussing the top issues facing the Granite State and the nation with the candidates for New Hampshire's 2nd Congressional District. Republican former State Representative Jim Lawrence and Democratic incumbent Congresswoman Annie Kuster. Let's have a quick look at the format tonight. The rules of the road. Questions will come from the moderator and our panelists. Each candidate will have 1 minute to respond. Rebuttals will be at the moderator's discretion, and each candidate will also have time at the end of this for a closing statement. Before we start with the questions, let's get to know our panelists for tonight. Dan Tuohy is a reporter for the New Hampshire Union Leader. Adam Sexton is a political reporter for WMUR. And Casey McDermott is a reporter with New Hampshire Public Radio. So with all that out of the way, let's get to the first question, and it's directed to you, Congresswoman Kuster. You've been in Congress now for 2 terms, and I'm sure you're aware that Congress's popularity is pretty low when it comes to American voters. They feel it's been ineffective so far. Perhaps over the last 2 terms, the most ineffective Congress this country has seen. So how do you make the case to Granite Staters that you are an effective representative?
Well, we've had, by the way, thank you. It's great to be with you, Jim. Great to be with you again, and thanks for hosting us. We have had gridlock in the last several years. Speaker Boehner and then Speaker Ryan have had a lot of trouble with their caucus. The far right wing, the Tea Party part of that caucus, won't let bills come to the floor, including the immigration bill that's bipartisan, supported by both Senator Ayotte and Senator Shaheen. But what I've tried to do is bring people together across the aisle. The biggest showcase piece of that has been the work that I did founding the bipartisan task force on the heroin epidemic, and I'm sure we'll get into the details, but I've worked well across the aisle on veterans, on the Agriculture Committee, and for New Hampshire bringing federal funding for a number of important projects.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lawrence, on the campaign trail, you've talked a lot about your experience in business, although the public record, there's not a whole lot of evidence for what you have done. So if you could, please describe a project or a contract that you've worked on in the last year that might better qualify you with that business background as a member of Congress.
Thanks for having me today. Thank you for this opportunity to express my positions to the voters. Yes, that's an excellent question. You know, recently I put a testimonial video up on my website, and it's of a former customer that I had that I actually worked on a classified surveillance program that was dedicated to getting war fighters in the Middle East the tools that they needed to fight and win. And he happens to be a New Hampshire voter. And one of the things I'm most proud of is not only does he talk about the good job that I did for him and the organization and the United States military to get our warfighters the equipment that they need, he talks about that he's using that as the basis to support me for my candidacy for Congress. And I'm very proud of that record, and I might add that my business did save the taxpayers millions of dollars, generated millions of dollars of revenue, and created good-paying jobs in New Hampshire with full benefits.
Mr. Lawrence, you are applying for a job in which you'll have considerable influence over taxpayer dollars, so I have to ask you this question. According to records, public records, you are behind on property taxes. What should voters take from that, given that so much of your message is about fiscal responsibility?
Well, I think the voters should take from that a very important message, just like they did 2 years ago when Representative Kuster was found to be 5 years in arrears of her property taxes and over $40,000. These personal discussions about candidates' backgrounds are mere distractions from the real issues that the voters should be concerned about. Yes, sometimes we fall behind in our bills, but I do always pay my taxes, and I will continue to pay my taxes in the future.
Congresswoman Kuster.
I just want to say it was 4 years ago and a much smaller amount of money, but I will say our taxes are paid in full. And I think what the voters want to talk about are the issues, but these are issues of character. And as to the business, I think if you have that great business experience, we ought to see the records and be able to take that into consideration. Certainly the work that I did for 25 years as working with New Hampshire legislators and as a adoption attorney was part of my interview with the voters to become a member of Congress. And I'm proud of my record and proud to be here tonight to talk about the work that I've been doing on their behalf in Washington.
All right, let's move forward.